Welcome to Hiring Happy Humans, where we talk about all things HR with a variety of folks, from CEOs to community partners, sharing up-to-date trends, best practices, and our wild workplace stories. Each interview is designed to leave you with the knowledge to keep your sanity. I'm your host, Dawn Sipley of Sipley the Best. Thanks for joining in, and let's jump into this week's episode. Welcome, everybody, back to Hiring Happy Humans. Today, I'm just so excited to announce my guest, William Hung. William and I met recently in Orlando at the PodFest that was going on. There was people from all over the world with a wide variety of podcasts. And him and I got to sit together and got to talking, and he was gracious enough to accept my interview to be on our podcast today. So thank you so much, William, for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you, as you were saying before we got started, you are currently in Las Vegas, and that is where you live. Just tell us a little bit about your professional endeavors and what you've been up to here more recently.
Well, I've been an entertainer and speaker for almost 20 years.
Wow.
But that journey has been a roller coaster ride. There were times when I had to get back to having a day job to support myself and my loved ones. And then now I'm back out there again, putting myself out there with the traveling and speaking.
Yeah. So just share with us, for those who aren't familiar with your story, how did you get your big break? I mean, 20 years is a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I feel that I was lucky to be at the right place at the right time. I studied civil engineering at UC Berkeley, but I was struggling with academics. I didn't know what else I could do. Then one day I saw this poster for a school talent show. I decided to try, and somehow I won. Okay. That gave me the confidence to audition for American Idol.
That's fantastic. And I watched the episode over again. Of course, I was familiar with you. You have kind of a cult following.
Yeah.
It was interesting after I met you, when I rewatched it, how different that I viewed it, because you really are just genuinely a positive person. I don't think you were trying to be facetious or sarcastic to Simon. No. You held yourself with such high honor, and Simon is known for being so cruel on his feedback and whatnot. So we saw what we saw on our end, but what was it like for you behind the scenes of American Idol? You didn't make it. Did you think that you would become famous from this, what someone perceived as a failure?
No, I did not expect that.
Okay.
My thought was I was going to be my thought was I would go back to school, be a normal guy, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, but that's not what happened. You've been on some pretty big shows, Jay Leno, Ellen DeGeneres,
yes,
and a bunch of others. So how does that work? How do those places find you? Do they just call you when they're like, hey, it's Ellen, want to join the show? Like, what does that process look like, for us little people in the world?
Well, something that I rarely mentioned was because my email was easy to guess, because it was literally my name and Berkeley.edu. Well, right. maybe that worked to my advantage. The first interviews that came up were on air with Ryan Seacrest, Entertainment Tonight, and Ellen DeGeneres. So wow. Yeah, very, very fortunate that I somehow they found my contact, and then I was like, I like Ellen since I was young, so right. That's like one of my dreams come true, just to be on her show.
Oh wow, yeah, she's just got such an amazing outlook, and the dancing is also fun.
Right.
So, just out of morbid curiosity, these appearances, of course, they're good for marketing and things like that, but were you looking to market anything? Were you paid for these interviews? Like, what kind of accommodations? I'm just really curious about what that looks like, because I think a lot of people would be surprised at the answers.
Yeah, I was paid a little bit of money, but it's not life-changing money
Right.
because like without saying the exact number,
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
I could just give you a ballpark. It's like a few $100s,
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, because they have a way to decide how much to pay based on
Mhm.
the rules for the acting skill.
Okay.
It's like there are some rules, how we
Right.
get paid. Like some projects you get paid a lot more, like a movie or a bigger show like American Idol. But for
Yeah.
interviews, I wasn't expecting that much. But
Right.
the main factor for me deciding to go on those shows was because I wanted to share my version of my story. I
Yeah.
didn't want people to just make things up on the fly because that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like
There was some
people.
really ugly stuff that people said about you. I can't imagine going out and do an audition and then, so much feedback and drama kind of come of it. Did it hurt your heart to read some of
Yeah,
those comments? Because you had never experienced any kind of celebrity status. It wasn't like this was something that you had worked up towards, over
no,
time.
no. I thought I tried like everybody else. I didn't make it. I go back to
Right.
school. It's okay, not big deal. But it was a big deal. Some people said like I portray Asian stereotypes. I shouldn't be in the business. I should be ashamed of myself. And that's not right. There are
Right.
hundreds of thousands of people audition every year. They don't make it.
Right.
Why should I be treated that way?
Right. Now, of all the hundreds that don't make it, they only air a few.
That is
Why do
true.
you think they picked up on your story among all the others that didn't make it?
Well, looking back now, I knew why, but before I
Right.
didn't. Because as a 20-year-old kid, I wasn't thinking about the intentions of what's going on.
You were
But
13,
20,
20, 20. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what?
yeah, I was saying as a 20 year
Yeah.
old kid, I didn't think about all those implications, all those
Mm,
factors, the mindset, the mental
right.
side of it.
Right.
But now I could say with clear mind that I mean I don't think American Idol producers were nice to me. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they were trying to show like, oh, this is another guy, Asian guy with maybe red bit looking teeth, with an accent, right? Whatever, right?
Right.
I talk in my own way. I look a certain way, but
Right.
it wasn't the intent wasn't positive.
Right. Right. Yeah. So do you feel like you were able to overcome some of those stereotypes and set some of those misjudgments right? Or have you just been like, you know what? Some people are just going to think what they're going to think, and I can't hold on to that. Where are you at on that?
I'm what you just said. I can't please everybody.
Good. Yeah.
But I am grateful that I still have fans all over the world who
Yeah.
who who enjoy what I do, and that gave me the confidence to say to myself that it's okay if I have critics.
Yeah. Well, you're never doing anything of any largeness if you don't have critics, right?
Mm.
Anything that you do that is going to be big and amazing, there's always someone. And you know what? Something that Crystal Parker of our local Christian Chamber of Commerce always says is the loudest boos always come from the cheapest seats. It's people who've never reached the status that you've reached. They've never done the things that you've done. They've never created impact, but it's always them, right? That just far in the back, sitting on the sidelines. It's real easy to boo when you're not out there on the forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you work in criminal investigations, correct?
No, here's what happened.
Okay.
I travel and perform for about 4 years, living this
Okay.
dream life, and then my entertainment career slowed down. And then
Mhm.
maybe I thought it's okay to transition to
Right.
get a regular day job. And then
Mhm.
I did work for the sheriff's department as a
Okay.
as the statistical analyst for about 2 years. And then I got promoted to work as an administrative assistant for public health, and
Mm.
that was about 6 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so because I thought I was ready to just settle down, whatever, leave this, 15 minutes of fame behind me. But that didn't happen either. I feel like not right, hiding behind my cubicle, and that's
Oh,
why I decided to quit my job to get back into the entertainment, the speaking. I actually chose a path that most people will not agree with. I became a professional poker player.
oh, really? That is fascinating. Well, if you have that analytical background, I'm sure you're quite talented at it.
Yeah, I was good at it, and for about 4 to 5 years, and then I realized last year I wasn't good enough.
Oh,
I was losing. I chased losses with other forms of gambling, and that was quickly spiraled out of control. Uh,
mm,
and I had to take a step back, and like it's like wow, I worked so hard in my life to achieve what I have,
right.
from myself, for my family, for my fiance. It's like wow, I can't afford this. I need to get out of this now. So
Right.
so that's why I finally put it aside. I replaced those addictions with board games, which is a lot better. Play board games with family and friends. Uh,
Good.
and then I put myself out there again for the speaking and entertainment.
Okay. So when you do public speaking engagements, what is typically your topic? What do you love to talk about?
It's usually related to chasing dreams in an authentic way without
Mm.
abandoning your responsibilities. And then the other main topic would be finding your freedom by using your voice.
Oh, wow. Those are beautiful topics. Now, are you speaking to young people about that, or your audience is more varied? Because I know some grown people that could probably use the same message.
Yeah, it's varied. It just depends on the situation and the chance that come up.
So if you could just wish for one phone call today, because I know you're a big dreamer, you have no limits in your head. Like, who do you wish would call you right now and be like, "Hey, we want to talk to you about this."
Um, I think this answer has changed over the years, but right now, I would love to work with a major game publisher to create a game to help people chase their dreams.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Is Have you reached out to any of those game companies? I know there's a few quite large ones that own a lot more than this than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Once I get my vision like very solid, then I
Right.
can then I'm ready to put it out there. But right now, I have a solid concept because I feel it's a combination of life and monopoly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's very so simple, right? Monopoly is like you have to make the most money. You have to
Mhm.
you have to use your negotiating skills. You have to be
Right.
ruthless sometimes.
Right.
But I feel that in life, that's not how it works. So
Right.
by having some elements of life, let's say like measure your game score by not just the money. Money is part of it, but maybe
Mhm.
also wealth and knowledge.
Right. Now, you had previously shared that some of your fame was kind of an obstacle in your normal jobs that you had tried to get. And I know in the HR world where I'm from, there's a lot of conversation around hiring influencers because many of them do not have the income and capability to have full-time income as that influencer. So they do need to keep some more stable work, but
Yeah.
at the same time, how do employers either leverage that influence? And some of them are really even scared of the liability because of our cancel culture. How have you seen your fame impact you trying to create some stability in those everyday lives?
Well, I can speak for myself because I've been on both sides of this equation.
Mm.
Like the stable life. Yes, you have stable income, maybe just a little bit enough, more than enough to get by.
Uh-huh.
But maybe you at the end of your journey, unless you get to the somewhere, unless that's what you really want in your life. Everybody's different. Now, some
Right.
people are meant to do what they do. So I'm not going to say like, oh, those people should quit their jobs. That's not how it works. Everybody's
Right.
different. But for me, like I would feel something missing in my life if I
Mm.
just say like work 20 years, be a proud employee of LA County, whatever that is.
Right. Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. For a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with that. But for me,
Right.
I feel I'm still young. I still can chase my dreams.
Yeah. Have you always had the love of the stage or the love of the limelight?
Yeah, there is something about speaking in front of hundreds or thousands of people
Yeah.
that lights me up. I
Yes.
don't need to do that many, even a few TEDx talks are very meaningful already.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting for me because I've never had a guest where I've had so much pre-existing video footage. And so it was fascinating to watch you grow professionally as a speaker. You're so much more well spoken now. You've really cultivated your messaging. So it was just, I love that. I love watching people grow and get better at what they do. And I agree with you. I think they put catnip in the microphone because I am just high as a kite when I get off stage. Public speaking, there's just something super special about it. For the rest of the day, I'm just on cloud nine, So I think but normally during the day, I'm doing HR, right? I'm doing
Yeah.
interviews, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, solving problems for other people. But when I do get the opportunity to get on stage and share a story that I really am passionate about, there's nothing replaces it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned a fiance earlier. Do you have a date set? That's a really big deal. That's a game changer. How did she land
Yeah.
the famous William Hung?
Yeah. I plan to get married with her later this year.
Okay.
I don't know when yet, but we are planning already.
Okay. How long have you been engaged?
Just recently.
Oh,
I knew her for about 3 months. We met in LA, Los Angeles, and I feel that what I like most about her is her character.
yes.
We both seem to have that kid's heart. We like to play. We don't like the traditional way of working.
Right. What does she do professionally?
Medical billing.
Okay. Okay. So she still is very detail oriented like you with that data kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
that's fun. I love that. I think that couples that can have fun together are strong couples that share a
Yeah.
lot of the same interests and stuff like that. It
Yes.
keeps it there. I've been married 15 years now and we share many of the same interests and we are both just silly gooses. So we make
Yeah.
each other laugh a lot.
Yeah. That's a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah. So on your speaking career, what kind of goals do you have around that? Do you have like, I want to do this many talks throughout the year, or I want to do like the big talk? Because you've already done a few TEDx's. For some of us, that's the pinnacle. So where do you go?
Well, for right now, the way I see my life is not a number, but it's whether or not I can achieve the bigger impact on vision. Like the vision for me to create that board game, it has a purpose behind it.
Right.
And I also want to start my own podcast later this year to continue that mission. It's always a difficult question. It's like when do you go for your dream and when do you maybe take a step back and play it safe.
Right.
So the way I find the balance, because I've been doing that, I'm a living example. It's like
Mm,
there are times when I need to play it safe, but you never give it up in your heart. You
right.
always take that little step forward
Right.
so that eventually you can get to your dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I find with my career coaching that a lot of folks think that they have to love what they do every
Yeah,
day, all
right.
day. And that's sometimes I feel like that's a false expectations that we
Yeah,
set, that we have to be so passionate and doing what we love, and where we can chase our dreams, we can do those things, but sometimes there's other things, other responsibilities that we have as well. So And I think the mindset of how we approach our work, right? If it's begrudgingly completed, what joy will you find in that? But if you set your goals to do things with excellence, it's not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. I do feel like that can change your attitude towards even the most mundane tasks.
Yeah, that's true. So that's also an interesting conversation about work, because every job, every business, there'll be tasks that we don't like to do.
Exactly.
Again, I speak for myself as an entertainer, a speaker. The reward is when you get on stage and get paid,
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
getting those hurrahs, yay, William, go, William. That's the reward. But what people don't know is that all the work that takes to get you those opportunities, whether it's the admin, whether it's the marketing, the planning, that's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah. What's the biggest challenge to you in landing your speaking engagements? Is it for me, it's the initial contact. Like there's so many places to choose from. Sometimes I get frozen at the onset. Once I have the conversation, it seems to flow pretty good from there. But what about you?
For me, it's my branding and positioning for the marketing. That's why I haven't been very consistent on social media. It's not because I don't want to be more consistent, it's because I don't know what to put out there yet.
Right.
It's like, oh, now I want to. Do I really want to put this out there? And will I cringe if I do this? So it's ironic, right? It's like wow, how do you have this self-doubt when you could put yourself in front of millions of people?